winter has always been the best time for me to lose weight. And of course, I don't think that anybody talks about it, but I'm very curious to see what happens to those people, you know, a month after they were finished with 75 hard. As simple as it might sound, I struggle a lot with that. So I don't really have to test it, but I do want to lose weight. But it appears that my body and my mind had a different plan. Okay, you'll do that for 75 days, but then what happens after you're finished? Oh, it's so cold in here. So remember how I said no more challenges for me for a couple of months? Yes, so I'm doing 66 transform again. After that first round was finished, no matter how much I tried, no matter what I did, I could not force myself, for lack of a better word, to stick to my calories. I gave it a shot. There is a video, my last fitness update. I believe it's called the final weight loss update of 2024. In that video, I talked about how I tried. Obviously, I needed a break after doing that challenge, which was fair enough. You know, I did give my body and my mind a break for a week where I completely stopped going to the gym. I was eating whatever I wanted, as much as I wanted. I wasn't really watching my calories, wasn't watching my portions. And so I thought that a week would be enough for me to sort of recover from those 66 days. But it appears that my body and my mind had a different plan, and you know, they showed me that I was not right about that and that we needed more time. And so after that week was over, I tried, as you saw in my last fitness update that I did, I tried to regain control of my eating, of even going to the gym and other areas of my life, and I just failed miserably. I use that wording very loosely. Of course, I didn't fail. My body needed a rest, and so it took all the rest that it needed. Also, I think because it was getting closer to the holidays, like just the whole vibe was, let's just chill out on the couch and let's just eat some food and enjoy the holidays, and you know, and that was fine. But also, while I was trying to regain control of my mainly eating habits and staying within the calorie deficit, I started realizing that I think I need that challenge format to keep me accountable, to give me that rigid framework within which I can operate, you know what I mean? Maybe as bad as it sounds, but I think that I need the rules. I think I need the timeline. I need to know when it starts and when it ends. And that sort of gives my brain, I think, some sort of structure when I know, okay, these are the rules, this is the timeline, this is what we have to do, let's do it. At the end of last year, after the challenge was over and I tried to regain that control, I realized that I probably thrive within that challenge environment. This is how I came to a decision early this year, this month, to restart the challenge. Also, historically, winter has always been the best time for me to lose weight, and also because I don't really have anything planned in the next couple of months, I thought that this would be now the best time to do another round of 66 transform. I think that doing another round of 66 transform would be the best thing for me to do at the moment. We are officially starting 66 transform. Today is the first day. So the rules are gonna slightly change just because I'm in a different place than I was when I started the first round. And so I am adapting the rules to fit my goals and where I currently am a little bit better. In the previous challenge, the rule was to count calories every single day for every single meal that I have and every single thing that I consume during the day. Now that I've successfully accomplished the goal, which was at the time to get into the habit of consistently daily tracking my calories, now my focus is shifting towards staying within the calorie deficit, because obviously my goal is to lose weight. I need to be in a calorie deficit. This rule is not daily because I know that realistically it's going to be very difficult for me to hit my calories every single day. So I'm doing it weekly instead of doing it daily. If I'm going over one day, I just need to make sure that I readjust it for the following days so that at the end of the week I hit my calories, my weekly calorie goal. The gym rule slightly changed as well. I'm kind of going out of order, so let me go in the order, right? Rule number 1 will be gym. In the previous version I did 6 days per week, which was fine. but I want something different for this version for round 2, so I decided to do 3 days on, 1 day off. So that means that it will be 5 to 6 days per week, depending on the week. I've tested it now, I've done it for a couple of weeks and I really enjoy it. It gives me variety, it actually works really well for me. So rule number 1, gym, 3 days on, 1 day off, and I think I will be doing what I've done previously. I will be doing cardio and core, upper body, lower body, break, cardio and full body stretch, upper body, lower body, break, and then all over again. Rule number 2, going back to the calories, is hitting weekly calories. I obviously went and calculated my calories already. I went online and I found a calorie calculator. I calculated how many calories I need to eat to be in calorie deficit for the goal that I am working towards, which is losing about half a kilo per week. That's my optimal way of losing weight. For me personally, my calorie deficit is geared towards that goal. Rule number 3, no alcohol. I'm keeping that rule. I loved that rule in the previous version, so I'm keeping it. Rule number 4 also stays the same, small portions. I also found that it worked really well for me in the previous version of 66 Transform. So I definitely want to do it again. Rule number 5 is water, and I did also change it slightly. Instead of 2.5 liters, which was absolutely fine in kind of the end of the summer, beginning of fall. But now that it's winter, I just don't want to force myself to drink 2.5 liters of water per day. I also realistically don't think that I need 2.5 liters of water per day during this time, you know. So 1.5, again, I've tested it in the weeks prior and I find that 1.5 to 2 liters is like perfect, you know. So the rule is 1.5 liters of water per day. The final rule, rule number 6, is I need to dedicate half an hour per day to myself, and that could mean many things. It could mean 30 minutes of reading, journaling, meditating, doing hypnosis. It could be drawing, it could be just sitting doing nothing. You know, it could be anything that I feel like this is what I need right now to recharge. So it's not limited to just 1 or 2 things like it was in the previous version of the challenge. I actually have a list of things that I can pick and choose from, but it needs to be half an hour for me where I can switch everything off, switch off my phone, put down the camera, close my laptop, and I can just do whatever I want for half an hour. As simple as it might sound, I struggle a lot with that. I struggle with finding time for this kind of stuff. And if I don't have this rule, I'll just never do it. So this is why I wanted to include something like that, because I think that it's really good for my mental health and it's definitely something that I would like to implement into my routine. If we could place the bets for like which rule I'm gonna struggle with the most, I would place my bet on this rule. I think that I will struggle with it because I did kind of a test week. Last week was my test week. I like to do that before challenges or new programs that I do. I like to do it and go through all the rules and everything for a week prior to beginning the challenge or the program, just to see if everything works together and like if it makes sense and if it's doable but challenging enough. So this is what I also did last week for this challenge, and out of 7 days I was able only to do it once. So that tells me that I will struggle a little bit with that last rule, just like I did with walking in the previous version, if not more. But TBD, we'll see. I think one thing that I will definitely have to do is I will have to schedule half an hour. Will I stick to it? We'll see. But those are the rules. As you can see, 6 rules instead of, I believe there were 7 in the previous version, but that's because I took walking out. So now I only have 6 rules. Very simple, very doable. Like I like my challenges. If you watched the previous one, you know that I make my challenges very doable because I want not only to successfully complete it in full, but I also want to maintain the result after finishing the challenge. You know, the problems with challenges like 75 hard is that, okay, you'll do that for 75 days, but then what happens after you're finished? If you manage to lose a lot of weight while doing 75 hard, and then once you're finished, you stop doing 2 workouts a day, you will naturally gain some of that weight back because you only were able to lose it because you were doing 2 workouts a week plus whatever diet you had, which is also a very vague rule in that challenge. But What's most insane for me is 2 workouts per week without any rest days for 75 days straight, and I think that that's just not healthy for your mind, not healthy for your body. And of course I don't think that anybody talks about it, but I'm very curious to see what happens to those people, you know, a month after they were finished with 75 hard. Were they able to maintain that result? Were they able to keep those inches off and those kilograms off their body, or did some of that come back? Because obviously you can't realistically continue training twice a day every single day for the rest of your life. You'll have to reduce that, and as soon as you reduce that, your body will start gaining that weight back. Anyways, that's a tangent. The goal of my challenges that I do is complete opposite, you know. It still challenges your mental toughness. If you really don't know yourself well enough not to know whether you're mentally tough or not, it still does that. I know that I am disciplined, and then my mental toughness is pretty good, so I don't really have to test it, but I do want to lose weight and I want to keep it off. That's my goal with those challenges, and that's why when I put together the rules for this challenge, my main goal is to make them doable. Challenging, but not to a point where it's gonna break me, or once I'm finished with the challenge everything is just gonna come back to exactly the way it was, but to a point where even after I'm finished with the challenge, I can still maintain more or less similar routine to what I've been doing as part of the challenge. That rant over. Okay. I feel like I do have a pretty solid routine right now, and everything just works really well together. My gym, my nutrition, my work, everything just kind of flows. So that's really not a focus for this second round of doing this challenge. It's mainly just the weight loss now. More or less, I still have about 20 to 25 kilograms that I would like to lose. My goal is to obviously see the change on the scale, but also measurements. That's why I take the measurements, my circumference. I want to see some inches come off of that, and then also I try some clothing before I start and then after, because I believe that this is where you actually feel the real progress. If you can feel the difference in how you fit in your clothing and how the clothing feels on you, like that's a good indication whether you've made some progress or not. And I also take a before and after progress video. So as you can see, there's 4 different ways that I measure the result and the progress. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. If you want to join me, we can arrange something. We can do it together. Even if you see this video after I've already started, we can maybe do something. Just let me know if you're interested in doing something like that together. Maybe have a community, maybe we could put a group together or something like this. Just let me know and we'll see what we can do. Okay, this is all that I wanted to share with you about this challenge that I'm starting, and I will end this video here. I hope that you enjoyed. Please leave a like if you like this video. Subscribe to my channel if you're not yet a subscriber. If you're curious to see how this challenge is gonna go, I will be sharing updates almost every single week. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe. I also make videos sharing my favorite recipes, low calorie, high protein, you know, what I eat when I try to be in calorie deficit, all that kind of stuff. Occasionally I also release a video where I try to style the clothing that I own. And so if you're interested in any of that, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. But most importantly, come back next week for a new video. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye.